So you use an Air Products helium cylinder. These are the nozzles that are available to you. This is your standard one, the standard universal tilt inflator that I just showed you. This would fit into most balloons. So this is a standard 12-inch latex balloon, just folded over on itself like that. You always want as tight a seal as you possibly can when you're inflating balloons, otherwise you're going to lose helium. Fits in a 3-foot balloon, no problem at all. Again, fold it over, have a nice tight seal. That's fine. Use it on valved balloons. So these valves are used for at exhibitions. If you're handing out lots of balloons, you pre-attach a weight to these valves on the ribbon on the valve. This ribbon comes out, and then you just inflate with helium and hand them out really quickly. You have to insert it quite hard to get a nice tight seal, but once it's on there, it's nice tight seal, really easy to inflate. We use these exclusively for foil balloons for years, and it works fine for that. And the only thing you can't do is modelling balloons. Now this is the push, universal push valve, same as the tilt one, except that you push instead of tilt. So you push it in a little bit, it comes out, a little bit of helium comes out. Push it a lot, lots of helium comes out. Use this, standard latex balloons, 3-foot latex balloons. It works quite well with the size of the neck and the cone shape, so that works well. Now this has got a little, we call it a hat. It's a little attachment and it's used for smaller balloons. It works quite well with the valves. You've still got to make sure you've got a nice tight, you've got to push it quite hard to have a nice tight seal there. But this does work with the modelling balloons. I don't think these modelling balloons would float, but the manufacturers say you can use it with modelling balloons, and it does fit in, so that's good. And foil balloons, no problem at all. Just make sure you've got a nice tight seal. So they're the two standard ones. They're the ones you're most likely to see around. Now this one, it's got a standard universal flex tip, but it's also got this. Now this is used for foil balloons only. It's got a nice tapered tip there, and that easily slides down into the foil balloon. And because of the shape of this nozzle, it actually makes quite a good seal, but you still want to try and get as good a seal as you can. And you just push that gently. Now the really good thing about this is this bit. Basically, when you inflate a foil balloon, you have creases all the way around the seam. You want creases probably to be about that size all the way around. It varies from balloon to balloon. But if you go beyond that, if you have smaller creases than that, means you've put too much helium in and you can burst the balloon. So this actually stops that by automatically cutting off when it gets to that level. It feels the back pressure and says, okay, you've had enough helium, and then it just slows, and then it just stops. So that would help stop, if you're doing entirely foil balloons, that would help stop bursts. I wouldn't recommend using this and relying on that for things like airwalkers, for instance the Spider-Man, where you've got 5 or 6 different types of balloon or shapes of balloon making up that Spider-Man airwalker, because if they're funny shapes or there's helium going from one part of the balloon into the other, you can't really rely on this because it might be too much pressure. So always use your judgment there and be careful. But for regular shaped balloons, the round ones, the hearts, the stars, absolutely perfect. Now this is the hose. You would probably, that just snaps on like that, probably use the hose if you, for instance, if I wanted this under the table now so you couldn't see it. So I could do that. If I was in a tight space somewhere, a confined space, and I was inflating lots of balloons but I couldn't fit the helium cylinder in, I could do that. If it was in a public space and I just wanted to lay it down flat in case it fell over and hurt somebody, I could do that. Yeah, it's great. It just means you don't have to be exactly where the helium cylinder is. Now you have these attachments, and these attach just like it attaches onto the cylinder itself. You just push it in and it snaps like that, and then you push that collar and it comes out. It's that simple. This is the standard universal tilt again. Then we have the foil autofill inflator again. Now this one, this is a bit different. It looks the same as the foil, or almost the same, in that it's got that same tip, but it's got this magic button. Now this magic button, if you don't touch the magic button, you can use this as a foil inflator as you can that one. Press the magic button and you can use it for Qualitex bubble balloons. The bubble balloons require more pressure. You're supposed to inflate those till there's no seams. It's a really terrifying experience if you're used to foil balloons. But press that and that will inflate it to exactly the right pressure, exactly the right size. So there's next to no creases at all, if in fact any creases. So you get 2 in 1 there, foil and bubble inflation. Now this is a trigger valve. You just put that on there. Designed for foil balloons mainly. But it slides into the neck of the foil balloon really easily. So you just do that, hold it tight, pull the trigger, a couple of seconds, you've got a full balloon. It doesn't automatically cut off, so you've got to know when to stop, but it just means you can get into foil balloons really quickly, do that, and then move on to the next one. So if you're doing hundreds, thousands of foil balloons at one time, this is good. It can be used for other types of balloons. For instance, I've just moved that little thing up there and put that on, and there you go. You just pull the trigger. I was trying to push down there. Pull the trigger, and it'll take more than a few seconds to inflate that. But yeah, it's a good device. Now, this little sexy bit of kit is a 60-40 inflator. It's called 60-40 because 60% helium, 40% air. And how it does that, the helium's coming up, and then through this little hole here, well, there's one on the other side, it goes all the way through, it sucks air in, and by the time it gets to here, you've got 60% helium, 40% air. So that's effectively saving you 40% on your helium costs. Now, you'd only use this for larger latex balloons. Apparently you can use it on 11-inch latex balloons. I've never tried it, but the float time would be reduced. If anybody knows what the float time is, please let us know. I might do a test on that one day. So yeah, it's mainly used for latex, larger balloons. If you do use the smaller balloons, regular balloons, you can just put some tape over the holes and use this, and you get 100% helium. So you wouldn't have to invest in one of these and one of these. You could just invest in this, put tape around it, and if you are doing larger balloons, take the tape off and save yourself 40% on helium. The only other thing I would say is the end of this is quite large, so it's fine for standard latex balloons, but you wouldn't be able to use it on foil balloons. You wouldn't be able to use it on the valves because the valves actually fit inside there. So it is literally just for larger latex balloons, or standard latex balloons if you want to put the tape on. So that's it. That's all the nozzles that are available for Air Products cylinders. If you do have any questions, please just leave a comment below, give us a call, send us an email, and we'll do our best to answer those questions. Any questions at all, give us a call. From me, until next time, farewell. Have a good week.